What's up everybody, welcome to Hammer Down Motorsports. My name is Steve Fast and welcome to another Hammer Down Motorsports in-shop tutorial. Now today we are working on the 2010 Dodge Ram 1500 and we've got a Serpentine belt that is making some noise on cold startup. I put a little bit of belt dressing on it and it has worked very temporarily. It makes the noise go away, so I know it's not a tension or anything like that. It's just that the belt is old, it's dried out, it's time for it to be replaced. So we're gonna put our brand new one on today. Now, this is the belt that I'm using. It is a Continental. This is the part number right here. But on these Dodges, there is no guide on where the orientation of the belt is. So I made it easy for you guys and I took a Sharpie and I drew it out for you right here. Now this is gonna be your alternator. This is gonna be the water pump. So it goes over the alternator, under the water pump, and then this is the tensioner back here, and it kind of goes over the top of the tensioner pulley, down around the back side on the driver's side, and then it comes down around your crank. Then it goes up underneath the air conditioning compressor, and then it goes up over the top of your power steering pulley, and then it goes around this side of the idler, and then up over top of the alternator. So very simple stuff, but it is a little tricky if you took your belt off and you don't know where it is. So if you have done that and this video is here to help you, there you go, there's the information you need. So let's get into taking this belt off. So the first step in removing one of these Serpentine belts is to get your tool into the tensioner. Now this is a Serpentine belt removal tool. You can get these at your local parts place. They come in different sizes. This is a 3/8, just your square end like you would have on a ratchet. You can use a ratchet if you want to, but you just have to make sure you have one that's small enough to fit in the small space. The Serpentine belt tools are very thin, so they do work really well. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab a hold of our Serpentine belt tool. We're gonna make sure it is fully seated into the tensioner itself. We're gonna pull on the tool and it's going to release the tension on the belt. And with this held like this, make sure that you have all of your fingers out of the way of the belt in case the tool were to slip. You do not want to end up pinching your fingers, so definitely use caution when you're taking the belt off. So I needed two hands to get the belt off the pulley, but all I did was pull this towards myself and it released the tension off the tensioner obviously. And then our idler pulley right here, I just kind of pushed the belt off the pulley, pull it towards myself, and now our belt is nice and loose and we can remove it from the rest of the pulleys. So now pulling the belt off of the pulleys is pretty self-explanatory, but one thing you're gonna find at the very end once you've got them all off is you're still gonna be around the fan hub. So now what you're gonna have to do is take the belt and actually move it towards the front of the fan and remove it that way. Again, I needed two hands to do this, but it is fairly easy. Your fan should turn nice and freely, and all you do is pull the belt in front of each fan blade as you rotate it, and your belt will come out just like this. The next thing you're going to want to do is take the packaging off of your new belt. And what I do is I straighten the belt out, make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be. It's not twisted or anything like that. I put it around my shoe, and then I put the new belt in front of it, making sure they're not overlapping. And I just pull them tight so I can make sure that they're the exact same length. If you have a whole lot of slack on your new belt, or one seems a lot shorter than the other, yeah, you probably have the wrong belt. But this is a quick way to check it and make sure that you have the right thing, so when you put it on, you're not going to run into any issues. So next we're going to take our new belt and we're going to put it around our fan like we did before. I'm just going to take one blade, push it towards the front, and then I'm just going to rotate the fan as I'm putting the belt in front of the blades. And it's going to end up where we need it to be. So now I'm just going to pull it tight on the fan hub, make sure nothing's twisted. We got a little twist in this thing right now. There we go. Just going to pull the belt tight, make sure that all the kinks are out of it. We have no twists in this belt, and we can continue on with our installation. So what I do is I kind of lay the belt out pretty much the way it needs to go. Kind of lay it on top of the pulleys that are going to be the easiest to get to, and then a lot of times I'll crawl underneath and make sure that I'm properly aligned on the crankshaft pulley, and then we can start winding through the more difficult parts. One thing to remember too is that you don't have to worry about taking the tension off the tensioner as long as you're off the idler pulley on this one. So you can kind of just maneuver your belt into all the more intricate spots, like getting it back onto the tensioner without having to worry about releasing the tension. So we're going to route the more tricky side of this belt right now. We're going to put it on top of the alternator. We know that it goes on top of the alternator and then goes over to our water pump, which is also the one that has our fan on it. And then I'm just going to kind of make a little bit of a kind of almost a loop in the belt so we can feed it over to the tensioner, which is a little bit tricky on these. Kind of gotta just feel around until you get it into place, but it looks like we got it where it needs to be. And honestly, if you take this belt off and you don't have the routing written down, it can get very confusing very quickly, just because you might be trying to put this side of the belt on that side of the pulley or whatever. It can get confusing quite easily, so it's always good to write that down. All right, so now I'm going to go underneath and make sure that we are on our crankshaft pulley. Got everything in alignment there. Okay, we got our tensioner where it needs to be. Just going to try to take up a little of this belt tension, just so nothing pops off. With a new fresh belt, sometimes things want to pop off the pulleys, just like that. I think this time, just being where everything is, I might just put it back on the alternator pulley. Okay, there's that's on. Double check, make sure there's nothing hanging off the edge of a pulley or anything like that. And everything is in the grooves where it's supposed to be. Looks like everything looks very nice and happy there. And that's our belt installation. Well, there you have it, everybody. That is the 5.7 liter Hemi on the 2010 Dodge Ram 1500 belt installation. I know it can be a little bit tricky to get these on, so I just wanted to make sure that everybody had all the information they needed when they're doing this job. It is a little bit tricky to kind of get a good camera angle on what I was doing and where my hands were and all that kind of stuff, but I tried my best to get you guys as close in there as I possibly could. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you guys out with some information that you may have needed. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And as always, keep that hammer down.